我是鲁小本，我是07年来中国，那个时候我都在中央美术学院上学。现在我是荷兰人民报的摄影记者，我喜欢收集中国的老照片和摄影画册。
When I came to China, at first I was very shy, so I'm 2 meters tall. I would try to hide and not to make eye contact. People look at me and say, wow, you're so tall. After 2 months, I thought like, this is not going to change. So I better accept it or I better embrace it. At that time, I make a project about my height. My teacher, Miao Xiaochun, he said, maybe if you make a suit, you should write down this is 1.70 m, this is 1.60 m, 1.50 m, and then people can compare to me in that suit, and then my head would be 2 meters. There's a morning market. Everybody is laughing, they take pictures. It's a fun thing. This is a good one. And up until 2015, together with Martin Parr, I helped him to buy historical Chinese photo books. He is a famous photographer and made a history of the worldwide photo book. So when he came over here in 2008, we went to Panjiayuan. So the Chinese photo book shows a history of China through the eyes of photo book publishing. You would have in a normal setup of Chinese history lineup. We find a lot of books from the 1950s, 1960s. That is one chapter. I can show you the most famous one. This book was published in 1959 and it's celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the New China. So you go from agricultural to urban life to, you know, the arts, culture, and it's massive. Well, for the city of Beijing, it was a huge event, like the Renmindahuitang, also the Beijing. They had a kindergarten and a like luxury first-class waiting room. The celebrations in Shanghai is also quite nice. No internet, no television, so people would see this kind of book and get a reflection of the country. I also collect photo albums, a lot of photographs of food culture. In the 1980s, sometimes they had food competitions. Chefs coming to a certain province, and then they would prepare their dishes, and then would photograph it with a flash and like very straightforward. If you look at some of them, I like this kind of chess cake, the color of the table. There's all these very flat dishes. 2 peacocks with ladies with these fridges. And they were never made for artistic purposes. Very functional, useful photography. I also noticed that sometimes it's too close for people. So they notice from their own childhood. Is that if you show this kind of pictures, they really capture the 1990s. If you see the amount of clothes on this guy, it's just funny. The colors, the fashion. The movie stars and actresses, they all have to be very, very sexy. Nobody would photograph it like this anymore. The photography, that all gives it away that you're a product of your time. I used to go to Panjiayuan like every week. But roughly since 2008, 2009, I collect online, mostly. Taobao is a guilty pleasure. I love to scroll through pictures that the photographers, the sellers, took themselves often of their products, and they use kids or they use the local boss to stand next to the product. They are not famous photographers, but like to present them to people as, look at these. It's very functional, it's very creative. This is a chicken wing bouquet. So you give this flowers and there's chicken wings in it as well. And low budget, and it works fine, yeah. I would say they have to be famous. The last 6 years I have been traveling all over China. Technology is embraced here in a very quick way. Not so long ago I was doing a video chat with my friend who has never been to China. And then it's like, oh, it looks so modern. There's a little gap of misunderstanding. Dutch audience or European audience in general really is hungry what's going on in China. I am happy to fill my projects.
下个月
出版了，然后从荷兰打印发到这边，然后我送给你一本。
对，这本给我。
A lot of Chinese parents who ask me this question of 可是你家那边 I have my friends, my partner. So my home is here. And then I say, yeah, but my home is in Beijing. If I would move somewhere else, I think I'm so going to miss my life here.